What's going on, guys? It's me, Shukashu. We are back with another Musume video. And in this video, I believe this is going to be the last League of Heroes preparation video because I think tonight we're getting a new character. I think it was Durando or Durandal, however you guys want to say it. So yeah, I think today with Suzuka is going to be the last one for the League of Heroes prep. So here we are. We're just gonna try again. A Great Escape. You know what? I might as well just try it again. I might as well. Although I don't think I've gotten a character or one of the Umas that I wanted to train on par this week. So I'm gonna have to squeeze in as many runs as I can before the League of Heroes. Is pretty much what I'm saying. From after this training run until the League of Heroes video, which is on Sunday night, I would say, because that's when it does get released. So yeah. So over here we have pretty much the same inheritance, except I still did swap one of the parents to Chocoban, which was the friend parent, and then the same setup as I was using on Monday. Yeah, on Monday. So two guts. Nope, not two guts. 2 power, 1 speed, 1 wise, 1 guts, and also the Yo-Yo friend card. And that is pretty much the setup. So we're just gonna jump in to the run, just get it started, because I do need to get this video edited. So the sooner I get this run over with, the sooner I can edit, and the sooner this video will get uploaded, and hopefully on time. Hopefully. But just to get this started, but before we do jump into the run and into the training and the comments, if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, the link is down in the description below. And if you guys haven't joined the circle, feel free to join the circle that I'm in. It is called Shushu. Once you give that a search, hit request to join, and after that it'll let me know that you want to join. But after that, either go to the Discord server or the comment section down below. But for the Discord server, there's going to be a channel called Circle Requests. Go over there or to the comment section and let me know that you sent the request along with your in-game name, just so I can make sure that I am accepting you into the circle and not anyone else or some random person that I could have accepted, because I don't know who's who. But the chances of that happening is kind of slim, because I still haven't accepted any randos just to, you know, get some circle points into the circle while still adding people. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the circle. Here we are with Suzuka. Actually, I think out of everyone that we've trained or this week, from Taiki Shuttle and Simply Rudolph, I felt like maybe that run we had with Suzuka was probably the best out of all the 3 of them. At least that's what it seems like to me, or feels like to me. Anyways, let's go over the comments, starting with Rick. Just give me a sec here to just pick. I joined the circle yesterday. I wanted to play global version because I will be able to read the stories and will be able to summon on the banners I miss. I don't know if I'll play the game 3 years and a half until Gentle Donna, and we'll get the less score in Umas because the scenarios, but everyone will have to deal with that, unlike in JP, that people that started playing before me have an advantage. The speed. That's fair. That's a fair reason. I mean, obviously everyone has their own reasons for wanting to play the global version before the JP version, if they are. But regardless of when you started in this game, it depends mostly on how you start, regardless of how late It is. And the only reason why I say that is because of like one of the examples, Tanoki, been playing for almost a year. And I think even after like 4 or 5 months, he was already pretty much on par where I was. Although it was less Umas, his support cards is really what got him. And also his parent trainings and all that. And until now, well, not until now, but since then, he pretty much surpassed me, and I would say better than me. But it really just depends on the how you start off your account and how you go on from there. If we're talking about like the training side and the other side. If you really want to read the stories and all that, I have nothing I have nothing to say about that. That's all you. So if you want to read it, good for you. For me, I kind of already just gave that up playing JP. Although I can read it if I do, use whatever Eugen and Ren uses. Because it will translate the game. And it will essentially basically be the same. But that's if you want to go through all that, obviously. But no, it's fair. It's a fair reason. It's more towards like if they really didn't want if they didn't want to read the story or anything like that, then it's kind of like what was stopping you to start JP to begin with? If it wasn't, something like you actually wanted to read a story like you do. Because as long as you give it like a good week or two, depending on how you go about with your account starting off, will pretty much make or break in the beginning. Either you'll have a good start and everything goes smooth, or not smooth, but like it'll go better than if you had started in a bad way, I guess. I really don't know how to explain it. but like I said, for me it's like if you were to start, I think it would be like support cards as the main priority. And then once you start feeling more comfortable with your support cards, is to pretty much, you could start pulling Umas probably here and there, unless it's an Uma that you really, really want, then that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. But yeah, I would say like obviously the main priority, especially now with the scenarios being every 4 months, it will probably be, or most likely be, support cards. Especially when it comes down to the new scenario cards. I would say those do take... I personally say, as a free-to-play player, would say those take priority because of the flexibility you're able to get when you build your support card deck, when you're trying to, figure out a setup you want to use for yourself. So, like, for example, with this scenario for the Yayoi friend card, if I didn't have that, obviously I would be renting it or borrowing it from a friend. But then I would have to solely rely on all of my cards that I have, which I would say like half are good enough and the other half are decent enough. I would say probably my best cards are for chasers, as what Nova had mentioned. But that's only basically 2 cards, since my Ferv card is only at Limit Break 1. But the other 2 would be basically Duramente and Narita Taishin. Unfortunately, I am not training a chaser this time, but it's okay. Maybe for the CM. Maybe. Other than that, after all of that from the comment, welcome to the circle. I believe you were the one, believe it was the demo, right? Didn't I felt like I said that yesterday, but that was you, right, with the gold chip on your account. Was that you? But Nova had responded saying, I can see that. Personally, I just read the story for training runs itself and not the main story. I know next to nothing about horse racing other than what happened IRL with Suzuka and Gold Ship. I'm more of a World War II ship girls kind of guy. Yeah, there's ship girls. Eugen had responded saying, there's some third-party program, use at own risk by the way, that translates the stories into EN, but of course those new stories will be later updated. I haven't tried it though, because it's either I will spend it on Uma parent training, or most of the time I log in just to play it live for a particular song using my favorite Umas. But yeah, maybe when I feel about it, I'll try to read it someday. Yeah, I guess it depends on your approach of the game. Obviously, there's the training aspect, but it depends how seriously you want to take the training aspect, I guess. Because I feel like, I think besides the training stories, I'm not sure. I haven't been reading or haven't read the stories at all, or any of the dialogue in the game. Whatever I see, just whatever I know. And I can't even understand it. So I can't really speak on the stories. Can't really speak on the stories. And then Nova responded saying, even if you're global, you need to wait a year or two before you can read Turbo's story. I don't think it was just Turbo in general. It's 2 years because I believe she got released in the second anniversary with Mr. CB. But I believe that he was just talking in general, not Turbo's story. Maybe he's already reading Turbo's story. You never know. But anyways, thank you, Rick, for the comment, and Nova and Nugent for responding to it. Next comments are going to be from Nova. First one says, no, I was commenting about my own girlfriend based on response to your previous experience with your ex-girlfriend about how she was too clingy for you and stuff. Nothing to do with the anime. Though, I do find myself liking yandere characters in a lot of gachas I play. Were you? I don't know. Because the whole thing got jumbled up with the anime talk, it kind of it kind of just felt like it was that. So yeah, it got jumbled up in the responses, but where did your comment go? Oh, if it's anime yandere character, it's alright. It's alright. I mean, watching it's totally fine. But if you were to put me in a situation with that, I don't know what to expect, to be honest. I wouldn't know what to expect, to be honest. Especially when things go the direction that I don't want it to go, as in why they're called yandere, pretty much. But no. If it's the opposite, we're talking about that, then that's perfectly fine with me. And that's perfectly fine with me. Because, like, for me, what I think is, like, you give me my space, then obviously I give you your space whenever you ask for it. But if you keep getting into my space, then it'll slowly, the key word is slowly, get to the point where I wouldn't be like, I would be like, I need some me time. So as long as it's not, like, all the time. No, it's not like all the time and all that. If we're talking about IRL, clingy and all that. Like I said, you can be clingy to be cute. But if you're just being clingy to be clingy, that's a different story to me. Next comment says, oh no, I got rejected. Maybe we can reach U8 together? Depends how my support cards are looking by that point. Which would be probably in 2 scenarios. So, if it's 2 scenarios, then that's basically the anniversary. If that's their idea. If that's what they're trying to tell us, that, you know, this whole time, every 6 months, every scenario, you're pretty much, you should be able to go to the higher, the next tier from the last one you were in. And then they brought it down to 4 months, and suddenly I'm not doing as well. I'm not doing basically what I said, where I should be getting, I should be at UD, but I'm still stuck at UE and still getting WFs here and there. Well, except for this week. I got it like 2 times in a row. Like I said, my best run this week from the videos I posted was literally Suzuka, which is surprising because you'd think that I do better with the Rudolph and Taiki shuttle run because they're not Great Escape. But it turned out to be that the Great Escape run I had was the better run, which is a little weird for me, but it is what it is, I guess. But it all depends on how it looks like in the next scenario. And then especially how it looks like when we get to, I guess, that scenario that gets released with the anniversary. Because it's weird. It's honestly weird. I still can't figure it out. But honestly, I said that I wasn't gonna be able to. This whole UC race was like done a long time ago. Like in the beginning of this, and like after what I saw in the first League of Heroes, that was where I knew. Like during that preparation, the first time around for League of Heroes, for the short distance one, I was like, this is not gonna be good. Because even I did go to 2 speed cards, back to the usual setup that I did. It still just brought me to where I normally was, and that's just basically UAF. While you, the whole time, since basically the first week or 2, you've been getting UDs, and even managed to get a UD9 as your highest, I believe, around that time period with the League of Heroes as well. Maybe even before. No, it should have been around that time. But even I have said that there's no way I can reach UC until I can get reach UD. You still insisted. You still insisted that we were racing, even though it was painfully obvious that I had no way of reaching UC unless I had reached UD already. And so you should have expected to get rejected on your quote-unquote racy UC if you are already winning to begin with. You know? So it's kind of like you're that guy, if it was like a race, the guy with all the bougie stuff and all that, all the top tier stuff, and making fun of the guy who just got like the budget stuff. That's you right now. That's you right now, making a bet with the guy with the budget stuff while you have the better stuff, you know? That was you the past couple months saying, "What about our race?" You know. It's like a guy with a Ferrari telling a guy with a Honda Civic that he wants to race. That that just it's not gonna work for me unless I get myself a little bit more on par with you. Otherwise, it's a total wipe. Like I've been saying, I'm not gonna be able to make it to UC, no matter how many times you're gonna keep pushing it. The quote unquote race we're doing. No matter how much you're gonna push it, it's already painfully obvious. Within about a month, within a month, a little over a month is all I have. You really think I can reach UC by then? If I can't even reach UD, you tell me. You tell me, since you insist that we are still racing to UC. You tell me. What is good for running though? Look how fast McQueen goes. I don't think that has anything to do with what you prefer though. I don't think that has anything to do with what you prefer though. If it wasn't for McQueen's, you know, the way she speaks at her, the way she, her, was it Ojo-sama type of attitude. If it wasn't for that, you probably wouldn't have liked her. Based on her just, you probably wouldn't have liked her. You probably would have just said the same thing you said to Suzuka when you pulled for her. Or what you said in your last comment, if she had nothing to do with any other traits that you like or her personality. If that wasn't there, she probably wouldn't have. You probably wouldn't have cared about her. that's just that's just what I think. That's just what I think. Cause besides the running, I don't really hear anything else. I mean, besides McQueen, there's nobody else besides, I guess, Mayano Top Gun. If you want to counter. But other than that, you're mostly just, if they're not, if they don't got a big plot or certain other things that you like, I feel like they don't matter. I feel like they don't matter unless they make the exception, just like McQueen. And I don't know if Suzuka makes that exception for you because I don't know how much you like Suzuka. And then I believe in the separation of hills and plains. And you don't make it seem like it most of the time, like 99.9999999%. The other ones are like for McQueen. Like that. Like I said, the exception is like basically McQueen. I don't know. Also, I'm gonna be doing another extra race or two besides the Asahi High because of what I remembered. And I don't even know if it was the one I recorded or if it was an off camera run. When I got not enough or when I had my unique on only level 3. So I'm gonna do another extra race or two. Or I already did an extra race other than the one for the goal and the last one. So maybe I'll do the Oaks and the I forgot what it was called. The mile version of the Satsuki show. I forgot what that was called. I'm not too sure. I think it started with an S as well. I just don't know what it was. I think it was the Oka show. No, yeah, I think it was the Oka show, not an S, but it had show in it. It had show in it. I think Oaks was the Derby version in a sense because they're the same day. But moving on with Nova's comments for Princess Connect, it's an odd thing for me to play it. For one, I'm 6 years behind, but the appeal is that the game plays like Blue Archive. The characters have their charm similar to Blue Archive. I think it's the 6 years behind part that keeps coming up for me. Honestly, that is. I mean, if we're all saying that 3.5 to 4 years is already too long for Pretty Derby, I can't imagine 6 years. Can't imagine 6 years. So yeah, I totally get it, which is why, like, for 3.5 to 4, well, it's already past 3.5. 4 years is just way too long for Pretty Derby. And then, yeah, I don't know. Just being behind this feels bad. It feels bad. I started playing Princess Connect originally because the other guy I mentioned had been playing it for a while. He started playing Blue Archive earlier this year, and I'm like, sure, why do a reverse play to see which game is harder to pick up for beginners? I do enjoy the game overall, but just not the fact that they push out 4 collab characters in 1 month. But it's not every month, right? This irks me a bit because I still have characters I need to pull for. I decided to just pull on one of them so that I could brag to the poor suckers that started playing after me. Even more of a reason for me not to care if you just wanted to brag. One, you already said that you didn't want to pull for her, but still pulled for her. Making it seem that you didn't, obviously didn't make it seem that you didn't want to pull. On top of that, it already didn't feel like a game you really necessarily cared about. At least to me, it didn't feel like it. And then I totally passed the thing. Should I just do the NHK over the Oaks? I was gonna do the Oka show, but I don't think I did. Maybe I'll just do the NHK and the Yasuda Kinen. Maybe. Yeah, I think I'll do the NHK and the Yasuda Kinen as the 2 extra races. Why not? Am I not on the day? Oh, we're not. Oops. Yeah, like I said, for that and the other reasons that I mentioned already. That's the reason why I didn't take... For sure, that's the reason why now I'm not taking it seriously for your polls for that game. Nikki has a collab with Evangelion. Oh, yeah. It was that one. It's still going on? Honestly, it felt like it was last month. I didn't think it was still going on. That's why I was confused on why there wasn't... On what banner, but... I got 2 of the 3 characters. The last girl had a Megan, and I'm like, maybe never. Fair enough, I guess. For you, I guess. If that's one reason for you not to pull a character, I guess and it makes it easier for you, then it is what it is. Where am I? Am I gonna do the Yasuda Kinen? I didn't even rest. Oh, I did. The Yasuda Kinen is the next turn. But I should probably rest just because I don't think I'll be able to. Or I can totally pass the Yasuda Kinen and not care about it. How many fans do I have? 54K. I don't even know when the next race is. Is it the Mile Championship? I'm not even sure. I don't know. But I feel like I still need to do an extra one more race. I think I'll just do this. But ooh. I think I can do this and just rest, just so I can get more speed. Next comment from Nova. Just a couple more from Nova. just a couple more. Now if you have seen Higurashi, then you should know about Umineko when they cry. I do like that franchise more than Higurashi. Was that the one with like the group of people on an island? And then there was like murders going around. So it was kind of like a is it like one of those things where it's like a group of people is like they were all like in a building or in a mansion. This is an example, by the way. A murder happens and they all just try and deduce and figure out what happens. is it like that? I've heard of it, obviously, if I'm remembering this correctly. If it's about a group of people on like an island thing. Do I know the series as a whole, like the whole story and all that? No, I don't. But I if I'm correct, then yes, I've heard of it. If I'm wrong, then no, I've not heard of it. So it's all on whether or not I did guess it correctly from the tippy top of my head. From the tippy top of my head. Because if I remembered it correctly with the whole island thing, murders and all that, then maybe my example will pretty much sum up what I feel the series is about. That's just me though. Ren wants to let that truck-kun inside your house. I don't know, but not a Rick and Morty fan. I enjoyed Family Guy and Futurama more. Honestly? Yeah. If I was to pick out of the three of these, I'd pick Family Guy. If it was just between these three. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was because I was already over with like the whole that kind of American cartoons and all that. I was pretty much done with that. I was like, I think I've mentioned this before, where like I would come home, watch the typical like Kids WB, Channel 5, Channel 11 cartoons, and then I think at like 6 or 7 p.m. that's when like The Simpsons come up, I think, or a little bit later, I'm not sure, and then King of the Hill, and then all of this other stuff. So yeah, that was like that was like that time. But for me now, as I grew up, like literally The Simpsons and all that faded away, and I stopped caring about them. Eventually got into anime. There we are. Never got into Rick and Morty because of the fact that I just didn't like that kind of stuff anymore, or that kind of animated cartoons and stuff. But if that's all I had to watch, I guess I wouldn't mind. I guess I wouldn't mind. But other than that, I wouldn't. I just don't. It's just not my thing. Although you'd probably see me watch Rick and Morty over rewatching School Days. That's just the honest truth. I really didn't like School Days, just for the fact that I was just so done with it. I was just so done with it. I felt like I was just losing brain cells, I guess, when I was watching it. I was not enjoying it. It was pissing me off, and it was just School Days. I haven't really encountered any other anime like that. I've seen some bad anime. I've seen bad anime. But they didn't make me feel the way School Days did. It just angered me deep down inside while annoying me at the same time. Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, as for anything related to Suicide Squad, they seem to always fail like both the anime and their video games. The IP can't carry everything. I don't think it's a Suicide Squad thing. I think it's a DC thing. DC has been under Marvel's foot since forever ago. They always kept trying to... Like, the best thing DC did was the Dark Knight series. My personal opinion. My personal opinion. When we're talking about, like, just, like, actual DC has done, their games aren't bad. They aren't bad. Obviously, the Batman Arkham Asylum, the Arkham series, whatever it is. Because I know it goes from Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and all that. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Never, I mean, besides Batman, there wasn't really any other heroes that I really did like from DC. But no, DC has always been bad. I know it's rude to say, and I don't mean it. It's just how it's been and what I've seen over the years when DC tries to compete with Marvel with the superhero movies and all that. It was just bad. Like, even like the whole Batman versus superhero movie or Superman movie, that was... No, I just didn't like it. I think the Wonder Woman wasn't that bad from what I remember. Although I didn't see the second one. That is also another thing to consider. But yeah, I never really was a DC fan. Obviously, was more of a Marvel fan growing up. Besides for Batman. I was more of a Batman guy over a Superman guy. If y'all were wondering, based on me talking about this. But I think their games were okay. The Arkham series definitely were the best. If we're talking DC. Suicide Squad from the movie, I'd say the movie wasn't bad. The anime, I don't know how I feel about it being an anime, that's the only thing. But I'd rather take my chances with Suicide Squad than something that sounds more on the side where I won't enjoy it. Because at least Suicide Squad will have a chance for me to, let's call it decent, or if I watch something like School Days, it just ain't it. But yeah, I think in general it's just like, I feel like DC does have a good fan base. I just feel like Marvel overshadows DC, and the approach they took, I don't even know if there are any other animes for DC. Because I feel like Suicide Squad is literally the first I've heard. Probably a Batman one. I mean, I don't count like the cartoons, because obviously they're cartoons. Although I will say Batman Beyond was pretty good. Pretty darn good if we're talking about Batman cartoons. But Nuts had responded saying Family Guy is peak. Family Guy was good. Nobody responded saying earlier seasons were the best. The new ones are kind of meh. Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say I think it's because of just the amount of Family Guy we got. By the time we hit hit the newer ones, it's just like, for me, it just gets to the point where I guess I could honestly say about this, like, the reason why I don't watch these types of shows anymore, I haven't been watching these types of shows, specifically like Family Guy and all that, is it just, even with the newer episodes and all that, it just starts to feel essentially the same. It's weird to say that because obviously we have like shonen animes who typically follow the same process of a shonen anime. But I don't typically complain about that. Mainly because what makes it different is the different characters and different series following pretty much kind of the same path of a shonen anime, right? Whereas Family Guy, you kind of just same characters, obviously, different episodes, different story of the episode, but it just feels like the humor is the same, and I just got tired of it. That is that simple. It's that simple. Plus, that was also around the time where I was also getting over the like TV shows, entertainment side of things in America, like Netflix shows and all that. Like I've mentioned this, The Walking Dead and all that. Yeah, I just always started getting over it. Whatever season, I think it was 5 or 6, where a certain character died or got killed off, and I tried to hang on to watch onto it because it was the story. I would have loved to seen it finish. I believe it's still going on. I would have loved to see it finish because I did genuinely love that series. But yeah, I think I didn't finish a lot of those TV shows because of the fact that I just got over it and canceled my Netflix account and just didn't want to go after that. But it is what it is. Since then, I have been pretty much purely YouTube and anime. That's been like a long time already. It feels like a long time. I know it's been a long time. Then Nuts had responded saying, yeah, newer ones are like edgy jokes, rinse and repeat. Exactly what I meant. It just feels the same. The humor feels the same and it just feels the same. That's the reason why I kind of just got over it. But moving on to Nova's comments, I feel like there's a school day trauma with Shushu. As for me, my trauma lies within another anime, probably nobody ever heard of. That's Shironeko Project, and I'll add Taboo Tattoo to the mix. These two anime almost made me want to barf. I think I've told you that I've seen Shironeko. And I think, wasn't it the fact that you didn't like it was just the way it ended? Wasn't it? Wasn't it? I think so. That was like the whole like light and dark thing, right? The girl on the light side, the guy who survived an attack and became the heir to the darkness or the dark side. Sounds like Star Wars when I say it like that. And then the guy had like, I mean, the typical black hair, I guess, with like red strands. Honestly, I didn't as I would say yes. It wasn't the best, or it wasn't good. At the very most, it was kind of decent. but it wasn't like it didn't. I didn't hate it. It just wasn't. Eh. It was just like eh. To me, it was that kind of anime. School Days was like I said, it was pissing me off and all that. It was. I hated it. School Days was just like one. Mm. If you can't tell, that's how much I don't like School Days. What was the other one you mentioned? Taboo Tattoo. I think I know I've heard of it. Have I seen it? No. That I'll be honest. I think all I know about it is I think it's a I don't know if it's a dude. But I know it's like a person with white hair. I don't know if that's the main character or maybe it's the typical guy with black hair. I don't remember necessarily. But I know it just has something to do with like the tattoo is essentially a weapon, right? Something like that. I don't know. that one was a well, I don't want to say pretty old, but I guess at this point it would be right if it was released in like I say kinda. It was like mid 2010s, like 2015, 2016. It'd be considered like kinda old at this point since it's almost been a decade. Which would make like all those early 2010 animes seem old at this point now, huh? Oh well. Um yeah, I don't know. I didn't see one of them and the other one, Shironeko, that one it didn't make me feel the same way School Days did. That's my only thing. That's the only thing I gotta say about myself when it comes down to those two. I feel like I don't know. But oh, I was gonna say the last one, but also what is happening with these runs, Shushu? It seems like RNG is messing you up again. It is. It really is. It really is. I mean, I know in the last training I really didn't see much, or the Simply Rudolph one, I didn't see much rainbow training. This is why I called it out. That run was dead. Yesterday's was a little weird also. I don't fairly remember what happened in that run. I just know it wasn't good. And then lastly from Nova, well, Forever Soul, there goes 100k rocks and $160. Went all out to max out a character, but it did cost more than I anticipated. Good thing I went free to play in Uma and several other gachas. With $160, I could get a decent figure with that. And then get some of my money back later on if I choose to sell it. Or I could use that $160 for anything else. Like I said, I can't justify for myself spending on a game knowing that their end will eventually come within whenever, depending on how the game survives over the years. And I won't be able to get that money back. Will I get my enjoyment's worth? It depends. Depends. Although from what I remember, he said Eversoul was like an AFK game. I don't think I would justify spending $160 on a AFK game. That's just me. At least I think you said it was an AFK game. But if it's an AFK game in general, I wouldn't spend money on an AFK game. But yeah, I can't. I can't. Even if it was for, let's say, Star Rail for myself, I can't. I can't. Even though I know the game was most likely gonna last, you know. Even though I do know that it's gonna at least last a couple years, I just can't bear to think what else I can do with that $160. Whether it's getting products or merch that I can resell in the future, or other things. I can't really think of other things. Other things that I may want or need, depending on when I need it, or on, you know. So yeah. But I guess, yeah, I guess it is a good thing you went free to play in several other gachas and Uma, but other than that, thank you for all the comments, Nova. Next comment is from Eugen. If there's no game Torah, I will make for myself just like the spreadsheet I showed you before. Yeah, I totally could see that. I could totally see you doing that. Because it already feels like you've already done it. Because I felt like you already done it. But oh, Mirai Nikki. That girl love level was awesome. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I can't really just... I know her face, because obviously, I think her name was Yuno, and she had pink hair and all that. But I don't remember, like, how she was. Because it's been a while. So I don't know. Can I get this a level 4? No, I can't. Let's get this to level 4 first. Sorry, I saw something on my other screen. I don't know if I had to read it or not. Anyways, what were we talking about? Eugen's comment. How many percent is this before 2%? 2%? Half of 4? Do I trust it? I don't know, because 1% really screwed me over before. Well, I don't know. We're going to get a little bit of energy here. So we're okay. We're okay. Oh, the UC challenge between Shushu and Nova. I'd rather see something interesting. If both battling using the same deck and Uma instead, like I'm doing for Train Along. Well, yeah, it would be more interesting because he would be dumbed down to my level. It would only be interesting if I was actually getting UDs, but since I'm not, it's definitely not interesting. Which is why I said that Nova is the guy with all the good stuff bullying the guy with the budget stuff. Or in a sense, the guy with the Ferrari bullying the guy with the Civic. That's Nova. I think I chose the bottom option for this. No, it was the top option. Yeah, flat out. I even want to have Suzuka because she is one of my sought-off Uma. I do like Suzuka, so I'm glad I have her. And that's why I do train her quite a bit. Although I do suck at training Great Escape for her. So that kind of sucks. School days. Maybe it's a horror anime for you. No, it just sucks. That's all I can say. It just sucks. I can't forget how keen my friends recommended the game and gave me a copy of it. Seriously, it feels like a salesman convinced you on their product that ended up into a permitting scam that you need to pass and share to someone else. See, they either really insisted on you playing it because they wanted you to go through what I did, because they knew how bad it was, Or they thought it was good for some reason and wanted you to try it yourself. I don't know. They even got you a copy of it, so I really don't know if that's a I don't know. To me it's just a bad thing just because it's school days. I don't No, if Ren have a random word of the day, maybe I should make one as well. Random dude of the day. Nova. I don't even know what's that supposed to mean, random dude of the day, because Nova's not random. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Nova, so... Nova did reply saying, I feel targeted. I don't know what he means by random dude of the day and just saying Nova. It is random for him to do this. But I don't know what's his goal. That's the only thing. I don't know what's his goal. Maybe it's because you... Maybe it's because you target the, lesson, you know, the flat characters. Maybe. Or maybe this is just his way of when you know, we're jabbing at him with the short umas and petite body type kinds. You know, maybe that's just his way of jabbing back at you. Maybe. I don't know. It's like I said, you may like McQueen and Top Gun, but Mayano, is there really anyone else? I don't think so. Plus, you don't talk good, as much good or any at all about them. Besides your fake reason of them being able to run faster. I'm talking about in general. So that's all I can get out of it. Maybe that's why you feel targeted, because of what has happened in the past with the little jabs, you know? Not the little jabs, but, you know, I know we're all just joking around here. On the bottom of the line, guys, I hope y'all know we are just joking around, right? But yeah. It is what it is. It's all fun and games to me, so I hope you guys don't worry. Hope you guys thought about that as well. And then lastly is a comment from Tanoki. The conversation for League of Heroes and CM seem to have blended together. Yes. It usually does when someone starts to mention one or the other when the other is still getting prepped for. AKA Nova, when it's only been like 1 or 2 weeks in the League of Heroes preparation. Suddenly he's already done with the League of Heroes prep and just wants to go to the CM. I don't know about this time around. I felt like this time around he actually did prep for the League of Heroes throughout the whole way through. But no, I feel like the talks between the League of Heroes and CM has been blending together since like last month. Because I remember starting off the prep for League of Heroes, but then I remembered Ren saying that she wanted to start prepping for the CM, and I was just like, well, what about the League of Heroes? I remember in that one of the comments. And then there was Nova saying, I wish we were, you know, the whole new scenario and all of that. But he's also gonna be like, I'm done with my prep, so I'm just gonna go start getting ready for the CM. But he didn't do that this time around. I will say that. I will say that. At least don't think he did. But yeah. I mean, I'm always talking about whatever I'm prepping for, so it's usually all y'all talking about the CM ahead of time, unless I mention it in the video, but I'll mention it for a quick sec. I'll mention it for a quick sec, and that is pretty much it. Like, I probably won't mention it unless I know what the distance and stuff is, which I believe it's 2,000 for the next CM. So yeah. Oh, hold on. Did I had enough to do the food? Maybe. So I'll just do it. Let me also do this. I'm running 0 to 3-star stamina inherits on League of Heroes, and I sincerely doubt the stamina requirement is 700 to 750. You don't think? I was just thinking 700. Because for short distance, I was saying like 6, I think. I don't remember what I said for the last short distance CM, but I'm pretty sure I said it was like about 50 or maybe a whole 100 below this, and I think recommended like minimum is not 700. That's like a little bit higher than above, but obviously the higher the better, just in case you get debuffed and all that. At the very least, I think maybe 650 at the minimum, I would say. At least 700 was kind of just a sweet spot for me, while 750 would be like the over top if you really wanted to. I feel like 550 or 500 is too low for mile distance, and probably more comfortable with 500 to 550 if it was short distance. 600 to 700, depending on the distance, I would feel more comfortable with mile distance, and it goes higher from there, obviously. Medium distance is way higher for me as a requirement, looking at 1,000 to 1,200, obviously, depending on the distance. If it's 2,400s, I'm expecting 1,200 meters, 1,200 stamina at least. And if it's 2,000, you can get away with 1,000. That's at least that has been my thought process the whole time. Yes, you could say 900 you could get away with, as long as you probably get the recovery skills to kind of make up for getting debuff maybe and all that. So yeah, it all just depends on what you think. Me personally, for this one specifically, 700 the sweet spot, 650 minimum, 750 a little over top, but yeah. I mean, you could ask Eugen. I don't know what Eugen think is the I don't know what Eugen thinks the minimum is when it comes to this, so what do you think, Eugen, for this specific League of Heroes? Because even with just a 1-star, if I was to do this a typical, this like 3-star stamina inherits, that would probably give me what, 20 something, maybe less. Without running a stamina card, barely getting any inherits, I would really have to rely on power to get me that stamina if I was looking for the minimum. If I was looking for the minimum. Who am I to say? You're the one with the better results overalls compared to mine, so maybe I should be listening to you. It's just what I've been used to when it comes down to like mile distance and all that. I know for medium distance, I had to eventually adapt myself to getting 1,200 for some of the medium distance races because of the CM. Which is why I feel like 700 is not too much. Because I was downplaying medium distance before. And then Eugen said that you would need like 1200. I was thinking 1000 at that time. But no, 1200 was the move. 1200 was the move. So I started to stop downplaying the stamina. Just went with more of a in between than on the top. But it all depends on you. That's just my way of training. If you're comfortable with the way you've been training, and obviously you've been getting the results compared to me, and then stick to what you do. Stick to what you do. And then maybe I should be I should be considering what you're doing instead. Maybe. Because I am getting the lower rank training out of this anyway. Although there is also the consideration of my support cards as well. And the last part of his comment says, what I'm running is 9 to 12 star stamina, and Hertz is for medium distance. Well, if that's the case, then it isn't necessarily a problem for me, because I was going to run mainly stamina inheritance, regardless, on the medium distance CM anyway. So I'm most likely going to hit 9 to 12 of that, of the stamina inheritance, regardless. But we didn't even get an S. That's a hiccup. But other than that, thank you for the comments, Tanoki, Nova, Eugen, and Rick. And also, Nuz for joining along in the replies for one of the comments. Appreciate it as always. Let's just get this out of the way and get the skills. We didn't get the right amount of stamina. Not like we did like I did on Monday. So like I said, I would probably have to get I would have to get a good run to get that to 1000 with 2 power cards and all that. So I mean, it's definitely doable. It's just with the amount of time I have left, I might actually try and focus on trying to get her to Great Escape, but I will make sure that I have at least a Rudolph and a shuttle ready by then. At the very least, that's the most I should probably do. So I guess until I do that, so I'm gonna have to start pushing out some runs, and maybe I don't know. But anyways, ended off with 1595 speed, 876 stamina, 1479 power, 1259 guts, and 971 Y. So pretty much this is kind of looking like the last run, because the speed and power is pretty much around the same ballpark. Instead of stamina reaching 1,000, well, I guess say 1200, but you could say Wise kind of matches that, because the other 2 stats were around 1000. So Guts definitely makes that up. So I would say this would probably be around the same ranking as that one, which would be a low UE. Am I sure about it? No. But it looks like it could be. It looks like it could be. I think I did a different inheritance, parent inheritance, just to test it out, because I wanted a little bit more. I wanted to try to get Chocoban, just so I could get her unique. But seeing that using less stamina inheritance on this run, it gave me UE5, but I got less stamina this time around. So maybe if I had used the same one and done the same, and the run was the same thing, then maybe I would have gotten 1200, or not 1200, 1000 at least on stamina, and I would have been fine. It is what it is, though. Anyways, that's gonna be the Silence Suzuka run for today, but also the last video for prep, because tomorrow's video is most likely the banner video. So I'll be doing my best off camera to see how I can prep for the League Heroes. But with that being said, guys, that is going to be the end of this video. If you guys didn't make it this far, wow, it's my best Suzuka. Interesting. But if you guys didn't make it this far, I do want to say thank you. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and let me know what you guys thought of the run. This was my best run of the week compared to the other Suzuka and Simply Rudolph and Psyche Shuttle. This is definitely the best run of the week, surprisingly, because it was my Great Escape run and I wasn't even 1,000 stamina. So let me know what you guys thought of the run. Obviously, I was a little bit short on stamina and a little bit short on wise, and I guess you could say speed. But I am confident that I could probably get a Great Escape Suzuka done by Sunday night when I record for the League of Heroes. But other than that, if there's any other things you guys do want to talk about, feel free to leave it down in the comments down below. Whether if it's talking about any other animes, any other games, gacha games, any other video games, or any series you just want to talk about, feel free to leave it down in the comment section. Or if you guys just want to ask me a question, as long as it's appropriate, I'll go over it. And if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description down below. If you guys haven't joined a circle and you guys are looking for a circle to join, feel free to join the circle that I'm in. It is called Shushu. Once you give that a search, hit request join. It'll let me know that you guys want to join. Then after that, go either in the comment section or to the Discord server and go to the circle request channel. And on either or, let me know that you sent the request along with your in-game name, just so I can make sure that I include you into the circle and not someone else. But with that being said, guys, like I said, tomorrow's video is most likely a banner video for Durando, or however you guys want to say it. Just gonna go over her banner and the comments, and that'll be pretty much it for tomorrow's video. So thank you once again, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.